Hello, hello. It's Monday, 9:25 in the morning on April the 15th, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom tour, coming to you from Bracknell here in Berkshire, boys and girls, on a cold, wasn't it cold yesterday? Cold yesterday, it's cold again this morning. I just popped out to put my bin out. It's Wheelie Bin Man today. This is the week where, because we have 2-week collections. 1 week they come and collect the recycle stuff. That's in the blue bin. And today it's, I don't know what you call it really, stuff that won't go in the recycle bin day. And that's the green bin. So I just took that out this morning. And it's cold again. But do not worry. Because according to weather forecasters, which I saw this morning on the BBC Breakfast Time, in the sun this morning, Britain is set to bask in Mediterranean temperatures very soon, boys and girls. Over Easter, 22 degrees centigrade on Good Friday. That is 22, 44, 55, 60, 74, 84. No. That's about 150 Fahrenheit, approximately. Okay, so that's going to happen on Good Friday, which is going to make us hotter than Majorca. Yes. Have you been to... No, me neither. I've been to Benidorm. I've been to Cyprus. I've never been to Majorca. I haven't been to those popular places. Oh, well, Benidorm was very popular. Presumably it's still very popular. But Mallorca, Majorca, Lanzarote, I've never been to any of those places. Don't really appeal to me. You know when you go to these places and hundreds and thousands of people all in like blocks of flats disguised as hotels. You know, with the small swimming pool down the bottom that you can't sit around. Not that I'd ever want to sit around a swimming pool and do nothing all day. It'd bore me to tears. Anyway, the weather says, icy conditions have kept the mercury depressingly low over recent weeks. But apparently that's set to change. Okay, bank holiday makers will be treated to steadily rising temperatures throughout this week, culminating, C-U-L-M-I, cumulating. They've put culminating. Is that right? Is it cumulating or culminating? I thought it would be cumulating. There's no L, is there? Someone's, no, it's in the sun. Another spelling error, no doubt. Cumulating in an Easter bake-off. Except Mary Berry won't be turning up at your house, I'm afraid. I wonder what she's like in real life. Mary Berry, what do you reckon? I mean, you can kind of tell what some of these so-called celebrities are and stars are like in real life. For example, Katie Price. What do you reckon she's like in real life? If you was to meet her and say, well, hello, Katie, really pleased, what would she be like? Or Cheryl Cole, what would she be like? Or one of the lads from Love Island or somewhere like that. I wonder what they're like in real life. You kind of get an opinion of someone, don't you? And you probably meet them and they'd be perfectly all right. Not me. Oh, no, you don't want to meet me, ever. I'm the worst, vilest person you've ever come across in your entire life. Honestly, you don't want to meet me. But, oh, would you like to meet me? No, not really. Not really. Yes, the weather girl, known as Sophie Yeomans, said Good Friday seems to be a fairly decent day. In many parts, temperatures will be a fair bit warmer. Temperatures will go up the week into the early 20s centigrade. So that's the early 140s in Fahrenheit, with a chance of reaching 22 degrees centigrade, which is about 190 degrees Fahrenheit, boys and girls. It has been feared that showers could put a dampener on the long weekend. Oh, don't come on, we're British, dear. A little bit of rain doesn't bother us. You've seen them on the beach, dear. The rain comes down. Do they leave the beach and go back to their hotels? No, they put an umbrella up or a coat on until the rain passes, and then they take it off and lay back down in the sun. Thank you very much. Don't worry about a little bit of rain like that, okay? Is it all due to global temperatures that we're going to have a nice Easter? We've had nice Easters. We've had very hot Easters, and we've also had snow at Easter in years gone by. Now, is it to do with the global warming? That is the question. Well, let me give you a little bit of advice here, boys and girls, on driving. Nothing to do with your pollution. Do not drive in London today. I'm giving you this a bit of advice. The bloke on the radio was saying it on Saturday night, Nick Abbott, on LBC. It's also in this morning's Daily Mail. And it do say here, thousands of eco-warriors are going to be pouring into London. They're probably there now, actually. It says, environmental protesters will paralyse London's roads today by creating human barricades at 5 landmarks. Now, these are organisers of the group Extinction Rebellion Group. They claim up to 30,000 eco-protesters and are expected to block major routes from 9 o'clock. Scotland Yard warned drivers to expect road closures and widespread disruption to the capital. This is bad news. Do not drive in. Don't get your car out and drive into London today. Get a train. Honestly, don't risk it. You get caught in one of those, you're going to be there for hours, stuck, and it's awful. Especially if you've got diarrhea. You know, it's not, or IBS. It's not funny when you're sitting in a car. I've been there. It's not funny when you're sitting in a car and you suddenly need to go, and there's nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. The movement. I'm reading the story. Nothing to do with the diarrhea now. The movement, what are they called? Extinction Rebellion Group. The movement, which is demanding the government takes action on climate change and wildlife declines, has been backed by Dame Emma Thompson and former Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. Rowan Williams. They include the granddaughter of a baronet and various people. They say that it will continue to block key roads in London for weeks and escalate civil disobedience if their demands are not met. The first stage of the Global Rebellion Week will see human barricades at these places today: Marble Arch, Oxford Circus, Waterloo Bridge, Parliament Square and Piccadilly Circus. Now, fortunately, these particular places are not on my route in. However, this often has a knock-on effect. So now that I've told you that, if you are going to risk driving in London, you'll probably try and avoid those areas, and you might come into the area that I'm driving on. It's already 2 hours for me to get to work as it is. Although it wasn't Friday, actually. It was an hour and a half Friday for some reason. Their goal is to shut down vital roads and transport links, causing misery for commuters and keeping overstretched police officers busy for hours. I bet the black cab drivers will be upset by this. Yeah. Dear me. The so-called Festival of Action will see food stalls set up and talks given in the middle of the road throughout the day. Some protesters even plan to superglue their hands to objects in the road and to each other. Oh dear. Well, that's a way of getting hold of someone if you're a bit lonely, isn't it? I might try that myself. Cover my hand in superglue, and one of the nice lads down at the gym. How are you, mate? I'm Chris. Pleased to be... Oh, we're stuck together. Yeah. I've just thought of something. It's just gone through my mind now. What if you put... Well, can we do this at this time of the morning? What if you put superglue on your, bits? And then you did it, and you got stuck internally inside someone. You imagine turning up at Casualty, eh? Charlie Fairhead wouldn't know what to do, would he? So there we are. My advice today, do not drive into London, okay? Unless you absolutely have to. Get a train. Train's nice anyway. I like going to London by train. If I have to go to London during the daytime, I'm near 9 times out of 10, I will take a train. It's so nice to just turn up at Bracknell Station. Train always arrives on time. I don't know, people often say they have a terrible time with trains. I've never ever had a problem. Turns up on time, you get on there and you sit down. That's it. You look out the window or at other disgusting people on the train, trying not to get too close to them. All those germs coming across from them to me. Quite comfortable. Sit there. Get out of Richmond Station. Get off there. It's usually Hampstead. If I'm going down to the hospital, I go there twice a year. If I go down there, then I get off at Richmond. I get a train from Richmond Overground. I think it's Silverlink, possibly. Something like that it's called. All the way to Hampstead. Then I get off, walk up the stairs, walk across the road into the hospital. That's it. No hassle. No hassle at all. I love it. Love it. Anyway, we'll see what happens there if there's any road problems at all today. Right, let's do some of your messages. Good morning to... Let's have a look. Maureen. Good morning. Oh, this is from yesterday. Maureen sent a text. Hi, Chris. Your clock is an hour slow. It's now gone 10 a.m. Are you? If that must be from yesterday's show. Maureen, no, the clock wasn't wrong. I finished before 10 o'clock. You must have been watching a recording. You must have been watching a recording from earlier on, because yesterday we kind of did 8:30 to about 9:30, or 9:40 to 10:40. Sorry, 8:40 to 9:40. So if you were watching at 10 o'clock in the morning, you were watching the earlier recording yesterday, darling. All right, so it wasn't a slow clock or anything like that. Simon writes, ref to the Sister Act film we were talking about yesterday. I seen them making it behind the scenes on TV once. Lights, camera, action, which is like my house. Plenty of lights, lots of camera, but I ain't seen any action yet. Well, that's because you're too old now, Simon. He also says, reference to the K machine at the gym. Is that the rowing machine or the K machine? I went to the gym yesterday and said to the instructors, Lionel Countdown and Tony Carvery, what machine will help me get a woman? They both pointed to the ATM. Get your money. They're going to start. Isn't someone going to start charging to take money out of your machines? 95 pence a time? That's outrageous. I always knew that was going to happen. You see, this whole cashless society that they want going, at the moment you've got to get cash out of the machine. I always knew people would start at some point charging everyone to get their own cash out of a machine. I knew that was going to happen. 20 years ago, when the first cash machines bought, oh, don't worry, you can get your cash out of a machine. It's all free of charge. I always knew someone was going to start charging for that at some point. What a blooming con, isn't it, eh? Good morning to Glenda in Pittsburgh, USA, who says, you're looking very handsome today. How's Ronnie doing? I don't know, actually, Glenda. I haven't spoken to him for a couple of days. Last time I spoke to him was on I think it was Thursday, actually, and he wasn't too bad then, so thanks for asking, okay? Peter in Woodall Spa, Game of Thrones is coming back, says Peter. Now, am I one of the people, I'm afraid, that has never seen Game of Thrones? Never, ever seen Game of Thrones. Don't really know what it's about. For some reason, I'm not attracted to that programme. I don't know why. It might be the title. I've no idea. I've never seen Game of Thrones. Very, very popular programme. That's not the only thing that I never saw over the years. There were other very, very popular things that, for some reason, even though I don't really know what it's about or any of the story or the characters, there are other programmes over the years that I completely missed out of. One of those was Friends. Do you remember that? Friends. I never really watched Friends. Or going back even further, Taxi, which was about yellow taxis in New York. Two things that I missed out on. Were there any things that you missed out on over the years? And for some reason you weren't attracted perhaps to the title or the time of day that it was on? What programmes that were immensely popular, millions of people watching these things, did you miss out on? Why did you choose not to watch? As I say, Game of Thrones, I don't know what series they're on, never appealed to me. Funny, isn't it, really? Game of Thrones, I wrote down 3 of my own here. Game of Thrones, Friends, which went on for years, hugely popular, and Taxi as well. What did you miss out on? Right, let's go to some of your messages this morning. Gustav gets the first message in today. A very good morning to you, Gustav. Diane Jebb is in the house. Morning, Diane. Shania's off to church this morning, so she can't stay long. I've got some church news in a moment, Shania. You're probably watching this on recording. My guess is you've gone now, so you'll watch this later. Michael Lawrence, a very good morning to you. Mike Risa Ponto, good morning. Gustav, is there any prize? There's no prize, Gustav. How many times do I have to tell you? There is no prize. Thank you. Ray Reynolds is there. Good morning, Ray. Watsban, you're new. Good morning to you. Peter says, sun shining in his back garden. It's going to be 22 degrees. Yeah, we've done that one. Say hello to Bernadette and Daniel Lake and Archie the dog. Woo, woo, woo. Archie the dog is extremely friendly. He's a lovely thing, he is. Archie the dog. Unfortunately, I can't really touch dogs because it really sets me breathing off quite badly. Unless I have one of those not antidepressants, what are they called? Antihistamine tablets. And I need to have that like an hour or so before. Yeah, once you've gone in somewhere and the asthma starts, point it's too late to take your antihistamine then. You know, you've got to take it an hour or so before you go into the situation. So I can't really touch dogs. I can give them a quick stroke and maybe wash my hands, but I certainly can't be in the same room for them for a long time unless I've had one of those little pills, you see. Morning to Martin Edwards. Morning, Martin. Paul and Lou, nice and early this morning. Good morning, you two. Paul and Lou, is Lou actually there, or is it just you, Paul, where it says Paul and Lou? I often wonder if that's the case. I don't think Lou's with you. She's probably out somewhere working or something like that, while you're sitting there doing nothing, watching this crap. Dear me. Morning to Michael Pullman. Morning. Jonathan Tustain. Morning. Who says, we thought of you yesterday, Chris. Had an afternoon tea at a 1940s themed cafe in Stratford-upon-Avon. It was magical. Oh, I should imagine that. It would have been absolutely delightful. I can just imagine how nice that was. I'm so glad you had a nice time. Yeah, you and Ronnie got any fancy afternoon teas planned? Yes, Claridge's. Yeah, that'd be the top one of all time. Claridge's, which is in May. That's booked for May. For his birthday. Claridge's Hotel. I mean, that really will be the top of the tree. You can't get any better than that. Cost an arm and a leg, but it's his birthday. Claridge's Hotel. That's gonna be the really posh one. Whether or not, you see, I feel a bit bad sometimes getting out a camera and starting to snap photos. You know, there's other people in there enjoying themselves. He doesn't worry too much. He just gets the camera out and starts snapping away. He don't care. You know, I'm very conscious about people not wanting to be in pictures. Why people don't want to be in pictures, I don't know. Because let me tell you, if I see a camera going off, I'm there. If someone's videoing, the BBC removed me once. They removed me while I was doing an interview, and I just kept walking in front of the camera. I do like a camera, dear. Funny that, isn't it? Other people, they can't stand it. They don't like to have their photos taken. Ray Reynolds loves it. Oh, he loves it, Ray Reynolds. Oh, my God. Every time you get a camera out in Central Station, the pub we do the carry out, he's there. His little face comes in. Sometimes he's a little bit slow. And, you might just get the ear. So you've got the picture there. Like, it would be like this. Look, hang on a minute. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, he's just like... and because where he hasn't been quick enough, and he'd just get his ear in like that. Ray, Mallorca and Majorca are the same place, Chris. Are they? Are they really? I didn't know that. Just pronounced differently. I've been many times. I've never been to those places, Ray. Just blocks of flats in the sun, aren't they? I can do that in my caravan, which I look forward to being at this week. Can't wait, dear. Hello to Jonathan says, my friend Becky wishes you well too. Thank you very much, Becky. That's very kind of you. Good morning to SOS Gregorian. Joseph McDonald, he's on holiday at the moment. He said, I heard the weather in London's going to be beautiful. It certainly is. We've done the weather forecast already, Joseph. Do try and be here at the beginning of the programme, dear. Have you got your notifications selected correctly? Dear me, we've done that already. You know, we've done loads. You want to be at the beginning of the show, Joseph, because sometimes we give away a big prize. You know, yesterday, you weren't there yesterday, I noticed that. We gave around a Ferrari car and a 3-week holiday to Barbados, flying business class with British Airways. But you weren't there, so you missed out. It's just how it is. Just how it is. Morning to others, Maureen. Maureen's there again. Good morning, Maureen. Did you record your yesterday hymns? No, didn't do it yesterday, Maureen. JP is in-house. Good morning, JP. Adam the plumber. Morning, Adam. We played at your scrambled egg programme. Did you see that? That was on Friday, I think we did that. Thank you. This is one of my favourite jackets, this one, Mike. Thank you very much. Very nice indeed. I missed the show yesterday. Was it any good? Paul wants to know. No, it was crap. They're all crap. You should know that by now. Let's have a look. My bank charges me to look after my money. Yes, well, I think the UK is the only place in the world with free banking. Everywhere else charges. We still have free banking here in the UK. Or if you want to pay, I don't know, sort of £9 a month or something, you get all travel insurance and all stuff like that. But we've always had free banking here. If my bank was to start charging me, I'd look at switching to somewhere else. Absolutely. I mean, if they would all have to start charging for me to pay a bank fee, because we're used to having it for nothing. But it won't go on forever. You know that. I mean, television used to be nothing. Now you've got to pay. Someone was telling me every time they watch a football match, it costs them £7. £7. And I said to was it it might be my nephew Gary, actually, the older one. And I said, is that okay? He said, well, when you consider if you want to go to a football match, you've got to pay £55. You see, it was all free when we were boys, wasn't it, John? You just turned on the telly, either BBC One, the big match, or ITV match. Sorry, BBC One match of the day, or ITV the big match with Dickie Davis. Oh yeah, I love Dickie Davis. Remember him? And Frank Boff and all those wonderful people. Morning to Joanna. Hello, Joanna. Adam, talking of cash machines, did you know the first one to use in the UK was in Enfield in North London at Barclays? And Norman Wisdom, yes, I remember that. He was the first to use it. I've got that somewhere. I saw that. It's on YouTube somewhere. Some other people here never seen Game of Thrones. Joseph, never seen it. Paul and Lou, they've never seen Game of Thrones. Shania hasn't seen it either. Oh, Shania's outside the church. Ah, right. Well, I'll go into my little church story this morning now, as you're still there. After I finished the show yesterday morning, which I finished around about 9:45. It was yesterday we finished. I got the car out, went to church. Now, when I got there, we got a car park in the church. Now, the car park is quite close to town. Okay. And in a town, you have to pay for parking. Wokingham it is. Woking. Corpus Christi Church in Wokingham. That's where I go to. Well, that car park, and there's no barrier or anything, so we can use that car park anytime as members. As members of the church. I ask permission. So it's all right to use the car. Oh, yes, no problem. No problem at all, Chris, because you're Irish. We've got a lovely priest, Father David. So you go into the car park. And if it's during the week, you see, there's double yellow lines everywhere. So I quite proudly, I'm driving my little car, I indicate to go right. These cars are going up and down looking for a parking space. And if they can't find there, they have to go to the car park, which is right next to the, not the church car park, another car park just up the road on the left. 50p an hour. Not for us, because we're members. We're members, you see. So I just drive it now, indicate. Park my car in one of the bays. Get out of the car and off I trot into town. Wonderful. No fee. Get back to my car. It's still there. That's it. Off I go, dear. Members. You wouldn't be able to park there, you see, because you're not member. Not member. No, not a member. You know, if you can go to any Catholic church and you can use that car park. Shania would be able to use that car park. You can't. You don't go to church. Not a member. See, can't use the car park. Thank you. Anyway, so I pulled into the car park on Good Friday. He warned us yesterday, Good Friday, make sure you use the car park or go and pay up the end. Do not risk going on double yellow lines, because can you believe the evil, I mean, practically mini devils they are, walking up and down that road on Good Friday of all days, ticketing Catholic cars, because they don't like us. And I know why they don't like us, because they can't use our car park. These little private traffic wardens up and down there with their little tickets and their little camera. They've all got cameras now there in case they get attacked, haven't they? What are they called? What are they called? You know those little cameras that they wear? Personal cameras or whatever they are. They've all got the little cameras now in case they get attacked, haven't they? And a radio hanging down there and some sort of gadget here to give out the tickets. They go up and down. Good Friday, they go up and down and they look for Catholic people's cars because they hate us. Because they hate us. And they hate us because when they're off duty, they can't use our car park because they're not members. So we've been warned, do not park. Make sure you get in one of our car parks, either the one in the church or the school next door, which we're allowed to use. We're allowed to use that as well. Catholic school, you see. Member. Don't need a badge. It's just obvious. Obvious, dear. Members. I mean, if you're not sure, if if you're perhaps from another church outside of Wokingham, like Shania, I would advise Shania, perhaps Shania, if you drive into the car park, hang a rosary up on the mirror. That gives the kind of tells them, walking by, I wonder, it's okay, there's a rosary there. So don't worry too much about that, my love. Anyway, so I've pulled into this car park, and there's a lady who's kind of waiting there, and she came across, looked like she was walking across the road. So I stopped, and then she stopped, and then she went back the other way. Oh, okay, because I thought she was going over to get into that car there. Anyway, so I pulled out, and she come over to the window, and I recognised, I think I'd had a chat with her a week before. Oh, hello, Chris, we've been looking for you. We didn't have your number. Oh, right, okay. There's a youth mass on the 28th of April. And she said, will you be here for that day? I said, what day is that? Because I didn't know what day it was. She said, well, it's a Sunday. I said, oh, is it the 11 o'clock? She said, yes. I said, well, I don't know if it's my turn. She said, oh, well, it is. Well, we've already asked after the Paris secretary, who is it? And it's you. And you've got to play, you're just doing the Gloria and the Holy Holy. These are two things that are within the mass every week, you see. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. Can we give you a ring? Can I give your number to so-and-so, who's like in charge of the singing at this youth mass? Because there's something she wants to talk to you about. So I said, yeah, that's fine. So that's okay. So I left it at that. It's a lovely lady, and we were chatting away, and I looking at the clock. I thought I must get inside and have a little practice before we start. So that was that. So the mass came and went, and after the mass, I left my car in the members' car park. Left my car in the car park and went into Wokingham. I had to put some money in the bank there because they still paid us cash this week. They're going to start paying us by bank transfer. That's going to start now, I believe, next Friday. So that's all right. And on the way back to the car, I purchased a nice Greg's vegan sausage roll. Very tasty. I did after the priest one. I said, do you want me to bring you back a vegan sausage roll? Oh, no. I like the meats. I'm not very good at accents. You may have noticed that. Okay. I did play... I played a wrong note yesterday. Oh, dear. I mean, it was obvious to me. I don't think anyone noticed. If I play a wrong note, it's kind of... Oh, you realise it suddenly. You probably notice it as the musician or the person who's, as the fake musician. Person pretending to be a musician. You would notice it straight away. But to everyone else, they probably didn't even notice it. So I'm not too worried about it. I did pay a bum note yesterday. So that was that. It's lovely walking around Wokingham doing a Sunday, actually. It's really nice. They've just done up the town. And they've got some new flats and new shops, which are all empty at the moment because they're so brand new. Quite honestly, I don't know how they're going to find... Presumably it's still easy, is it, to find companies and businesses to rent out these shops? There's quite a few private shops there as well, where say for example you wanted to open a little shop and do, I don't know, homemade jams and things like that. You could pay the rent and do that. So I presume they can still find places in this day and age. You just see these shops closing all the time, don't you? And Debenham's in trouble and all that. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen to John Lewis. I tell you what, if we lose John Lewis and Marks and Spencer's from the High Street, that's it, game over, mate. Those two in particular, Marks and Spencer's, and Marks and Spencer's seems to always be in trouble, don't they? But Marks and Spencer's and John Lewis, if you lose those two, that's it. That's it, isn't it? I can't see the High Street lasting much longer than that. Everything will be online. That little man from Amazon will come knocking on your door. Or probably not, actually. They just put the card through, don't they, now? No one knocks on the door. They just put the card straight through. So that's it. So I came back home, and I'm just getting my dinner ready, and dinner was on the plate. It was all on the plate and ready, and the phone rang. Oh, hello, it's Arlene from the church. Now, Arlene is the lady who the other lady has given my number to. And she was explaining to me what the phone call was about was, yes, the Gloria and the Holy Holy is the same as it normally is. Do I want to play it on their piano instead of the organ? I said, oh, well, what do you mean? She said, well, when we have the school, the little choir, I don't think it's a school choir. I think she's cobbled together lots of young people. When I say young people, I'm talking very young here. So sort of, I think around about 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. So she's got a little youth choir there. And she was saying, they bring the piano in from the meeting room there. the Kenyan rooms, it's called. They bring the piano from there into the church, they put it at the front, and the children stand behind the piano. And I've seen this because I've been to the school mass there for Ash Wednesday, which is lovely. It's absolutely charming. And you hear these little young voices singing fully. It's very, very different listening to little children singing perfectly, actually, rather than sort of older people. It's such a beautiful thing. And here I am. I'm going to play a couple of songs for them. Also, I thought the Holy Holy and the Gloria as well. And she said, now, what it is, she says, there's a boy. I say boy, he's 19, okay? There's a boy who's been playing for all their rehearsals and all that. And it was just taken as given that he would be able to play for that day. But apparently the boy is very nervous playing in front of crowds of people. And I'll be honest with you, so am I. So am I. You wouldn't believe it. I know you don't believe that. So I am nervous playing up there. Okay? But the difference is I'm kind of detached. So the organ is right up there at the back. Okay? Everyone is down the front at the bottom. Now, when you move into the church, he will be at the front, a little bit like doing a karaoke. He's at the front. And he'll be able to see all those people. So I kind of understand where he's coming from. But he's 19. And they're a little bit concerned. Number one, he won't turn up, which I doubt very much. I don't know him. Don't really know him. I think we might have crossed paths a couple of times when I've walked past him, but that's about it. He is very nervous about playing in front of all these people. And they're worried that, number one, he might not turn up. I doubt that. Or number two, he simply freezes. He freezes on the and suddenly can't do anything. Would I be able to be there as a standby? And I said, yeah, well, I'm there anyway doing the other two. What are the hymns? Okay? So then she says that the hymns are not in the hymn book. Oh, okay, well, what are they then? So she gives me this list of songs. I said, well, I'll have a little look at them and see what I can come up with. Do you have any music? She said, oh, I didn't think you read music. I said, well, I don't, but I can pick out the top line. I can just about get away with the melody line at the top. I'm really not very good at I can't read music. Just very, very slowly, like a 2-year-old trying to read a book. That's how I'd read music. I've never been able to pick it up for some reason. She says, okay, so I'll send them over to you. So she sends this email, and the 4 songs are there. Well, they're like pop songs. They're like pop songs, especially the one at the end, which is like a rock song. For my God, how on earth am I going to play these? So there we are. Now, my personal opinion is, if this lad turns up, which I'm sure he will do, I know you're playing in front in a church and that, but at the end of the day, it's a gig. It's a gig. This is his gig, right? Even if I can play those songs to perfection, if he turns up, I will give him as much encouragement as, because he'll feel wonderful if he pulls it off. He will feel fantastic. I must try and give him as much encouragement as I can so that he does it and not me. Because it's his thing. And, you know, to go to all those rehearsals with the other little children and playing in front of them, and then to get to the gig and someone else does it, no, that's not nice. Not nice. I would feel really bad having to do that. This is the boys' gig. It's not for anyone else to take the light and, you know, shine it like that. You know, it's his. And if he can pull that off, he will feel absolutely wonderful if he does it. So I think he needs just a lot of encouragement. Don't worry about it. I'll sit next to him if necessary. Although if he freezes up, once someone started, there's not a lot you can do other than stop and start again. You can't really do it in a church. You've just got to carry on. Besides, he's likely to be playing in the correct key because he reads music. I don't. And if I do it, it's going to be in another key. And once you've started, you can't change keys halfway through, unless it's a karaoke, which is a different thing altogether. So I think the boy just probably, I've never met him, don't know what he's like, but I think he just needs a bit of encouragement to get on there and do it. I really do. And I hope that he turns up and I can give that. I really do. Meantime, I've got to learn these songs just in case. It's quite... to learn 4 songs that I've never heard before, for me, is a bit daunting. However, I've put them on my mobile phone now. I picked them up off YouTube, and then I converted them, and I've put them on the mobile phone. And I've had them playing in my ears when I went up and down to the swimming pool last night, and I came back to the piano, and I can roughly play 3 out of 4 of them. The rock song is quite difficult. There's actually not many notes in it, to be honest. You know, some songs have got a lot of notes. Some have sort of a play on 3 or 4 notes. So there's not an awful lot of notes on, but it's a rock song. And how I've got to interpret, and played by a band with drums and guitars, rock, literally, it's like a rock song, this particular song. I've got to reinterpret this somehow to the piano. So I've kind of started 3 of them. I can now roughly play. That one is very difficult. Now, when I say I can roughly play the 3, I need to hear the song. The songs are not in my head now. I could reel you off a load of songs that I know right now. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nope, love is in the air everywhere I look around. And hymns, soul of my soul. I can reel off loads of songs to you now that are in my head. Those songs are not in my head. So I've now got to get them into my head. Now, I've only really learned 1 song at a time. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. Other than it occurred to me that perhaps the only way to do this is literally to keep playing them in my either on the phone or in the car on the way to work. I could probably listen to those songs 20 times on the way to work, and another 50 times on the way up to the caravan later. So I think possibly that's the way to do it. Of course, up at the caravan, I don't have a piano. So that's, that's a bit of a problem as well, because it's all very well. Like yesterday, I went up to the swimming pool, listening to them, had my swim, come back down, listen to them. Then I got back home, and I thought, right, well, I'll give this a go now. Put the music in front of me, looked at the top line, but that was in a different key, you see. It's got 3 sharps. I have difficulty playing 3 sharps. I can do 1 sharp, that's okay. 1 flat, that's okay. 2 sharps, that's okay. 3 sharps, I'm struggling. 4 sharps, no chance. So I convert it down to either 1 or 2 sharps, or preferably in C major. If you're musical, you know what I mean by that. C major, no black notes, only white notes. Because that's how I was taught, on white notes, you see. That's a problem. And once you learn some way, it's difficult to learn in another way. So that's it. And as I say, I kind of played them last night. I listened to a bit. All right, I can play that now. And it's the opening bit. I need to hear the opening bit in my head to be able to play them. That's how it works for me. Works for other people in other ways. For me, I need to listen. Then that tune at some point needs to get stuck in my head, and then I can play it. And that's how I work. So fingers crossed. I do hope that the boy wants to play it himself. I really do hope that. But if he really can't, I've got to be there and sort of on standby, which to me is really daunting. That's probably worse than being told you need to play these on the day. Yeah, because the piano will be set up for him. And if I have to go in, then I've got to adjust the key, because I'll be playing in a different key. So, if I'm playing in C, it's got to sound like D. So you've got to push a couple of buttons. If it's got a key changer on it, I hope it does anyway. I'm going to have a look at it next Sunday, apparently. Going to have a look at it next Sunday before. It's not me playing next week anyway. So if I get there at 10 o'clock, we can have a little practice before Mass at 11. So that's the story there, Shania. I know you were very interested in it. I've sent Shania the song, and she quite likes them. But they are more songs, like worship songs rather than hymns. Busy, 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 dear. Busy, busy, busy. Right, some of your messages. Weird City Citizen, a very good morning to you. Peter says the dog heard me barking. Paul and Lou has never seen Dirty Dancing. Is that right? I think I have seen that. Dirty Dancing. Only once. Morning to Mark Cording. Stayed up to watch Game of Thrones. The Irin Chair is in King's Cross today. What's the Irin Chair? I don't know what that is. What on earth is the Irin Chair? That's a... I don't know what that is, Mark. Morning to Paul Dow. Good morning, Paul. Reg Varney's name is accredited to using the first cash machine in Enfield, apparently. Oh, it's Reg Varney as well as Norman Wisdom there. So there we are. We learn new things. Mark Jones, good morning. Morning, Mr. Showbiz. I like that. Mr. Jones. I mean, Mark says the iron chair. What is the iron chair, Mark? I don't know what that is. I've no idea what the iron chair is. Ray Reynolds has good stage presence, says Weird City Citizen. He certainly does, sir. He certainly does. Good morning to Alan Carruthers. Is my mirror ball wonky? No, how can you have a wonky mirror ball? Am I looking wonky this morning? Am I? I'm looking at the screen. It looks all right to me. How can a mirror ball ever be wonky? Oh. Is it? I don't know. Is it looking wonky? I haven't moved anything in here unless... Well, just a minute. That's not moved, is it there? Has something moved? I don't know. Something moved. What are the blue flowers? Orchids. Ray Reynolds bought me those for my birthday. They're just going now, as you can see. They're starting to kind of go a little bit there. But they've been there since the 5th of February. March, April. Look at that. 2 months they've lasted. Fantastic, isn't it? Orchids last for ages. Highly recommended. If you want flowers that last a long time, go and get yourself some fresh orchids. Don't get them from the supermarket. Go and get them from a garden centre where they're looked after properly, okay? Paul works home full-time. Louis works part-time. She often wonders why I put this crap on, but she's got a soft spot for me. Is that right, Lou? You got a soft spot for me? Mike says the whole show is wonky. Morning to Claire. Morning, young Claire. Just taking a delivery of 5 beautiful plants from the Architectural Plants of Pulborough. Lots of gardening to do in the next few weeks. Well, good luck with that, my love. How fantastic. John Aiken is in Bali. Morning, John. Just back from the swimming pool, getting ready to go for dinner. It's blooming hot. Yes, another one of my friends has recently been to Bali, and he said he could only, even like going outside of his room, he could only manage like 10 or 20 minutes at a time under a tree. It was so blisteringly hot there in Bali. That wouldn't do me at all, I'm afraid. I don't like it when it's too hot like that. Not at all. Morning to... John says, can you play Rondo 69? I don't know what that is. Rondo 69. Don't know what that is. Sorry, don't know that one. Good morning to Perry Hazel. Morning to you. Have you ever used a cash point? To take money out? Twice, I think. Honest, twice. I don't like cash points. I'll use... When I went to the bank on Sunday in Wokingham, that's probably about the only one I will use. And a little push a button and an envelope comes out. You put the cash in and the machine takes it. And that's it. Taking cash out, I think I've only ever done it twice. Once in Australia and once here. I don't like cash machines outside at all. And that one in Wokingham, as I say, probably the only one I'll use. Any other bank or any other place, I go into the bank to put my money in. Because I'm always frightened someone's going to bash me over the head and run off with my card while I'm getting it out of the machine, you see. Does worry me, that. Ray watched Victoria and Abdul starring Judi Dench on Sky last night. An excellent film, Ray. Really, really good film, that. I love it. Isn't it warm? What a warm film that is. Great film that is, thank you. Claire, if you sit with him, he'll be fine. This is the boy who's going to play, but I'm sure you will know them all perfectly by the time that comes. Should be a lovely thing to hear. Yes, I think I think so. I literally sit next to him. I think I'll have to talk to him. Maybe I'll try and get I'll ring up the lady and see if we can get him down there on Sunday at 10 o'clock to show me the piano. But he must do that. He's got to do that. I think once he's done it, he'll be glad to. He'll be okay doing it in the future. I have a feeling it's never played. Apart from the little group of children that are learning the songs, I don't think he's played in front of people before, and that's probably what's putting it off. He needs to get over that. He does need to, and we're always nervous. It's always nervous that you're going to hit the wrong note. I didn't offer my services there. When I say services, I don't mean I'm charged. I don't ask for money for this. Offer my you know what I do, offer my piano playing or my organ playing. I didn't offer it there for 3 years. Why? Because I was frightened of hitting the wrong notes. And I used to do this in my 20s. No problem at all. Used to walk in, you know, sure of myself. You know what you're like when you're sort of in your 20s. So sure of yourself. You see the lads walking around here sometimes. They're so sure of themselves. I was the same. Used to walk into that church, open the thing, thinking, didn't think twice about it. Close the lid, go home. Yep, done it again. Well, that's me. Not now. No, not now. Nervous now. Nervous. And so we all have that little bit of nervous before we do something like that. But, you know, if someone called up now, oh, could you pop along this afternoon? We've got a couple of hymns, and I'd look at them. Yeah, okay, I'll come along. And that would be okay. I would be nervous, but I'd be okay. No problem at all getting in the car. I think he's going to have trouble leaving the house if he's not done it before. Just needs some encouragement. All young people need encouragement. All of them, whatever they're doing. Whatever they're doing. I've mentioned before on the show, you know, I went to see my nephew, the younger nephew. This is going back 10 years now, when he was, how old was he, 13 or 14? Or maybe, oh, I don't know. What's he now, 22, 12? Around about 10 years ago, went to watch him play football and all that business. And there were loads of other little boys, all the same age, around about 12 years old, playing football. And fathers of these young boys, round the side, not my nephew, but fathers of these other young boys round the side. And now and again, their sons would make some sort of error. You know, 12-year-old boy making an error. Hello, they do it. And they'd shout, oh, you're effing useless. I'm sorry? And stuff like that. I heard it. Oh, come on, what are you doing? Give them some encouragement. All young people should be given encouragement and not being blooming well run down by their parents. What ghastly people they are. Awful. That's the dads. And sometimes you hear the mums as well. You've seen, I'm sure some of you who have been mothers and fathers have been to schools and that, and they're always trying to, some of these mothers are like trying to push their kids, or push to the front. And then when the kid mucks up a little bit, I had to think about that word then. When the kid mucks up a bit, they say, oh, how are you ever going to get to the top when you're like this? And it's just horrible. Children need encouragement. At 19 years old, he is still a child. Just needs some encouragement. That's what it is. Weird City, it's an optical illusion with the shadow reflecting. Do you think so? I don't know what that is. It does look slightly crooked, doesn't it, this morning? Does the whole thing look crooked? Like my nose. It's not the bald, Chris. It's you that's wonky. I'm sure it is. Thank you, JP. Oh, dear. Julian is a bit late this morning. He's in Spain. Good morning, Julian. Claire's got 3 streams open. Yes, the thing is, there are 2 YouTube streams. Now, I assume that I do get the message on both streams. Quite frankly, what happened last time, we took one of the streams off, and then people kept saying they couldn't find it anymore. So that's why I just put the other streams. Apparently, there's 2 types of YouTube. There's YouTube events and YouTube live, and they are different things, apparently. I can't work it out myself, to be honest, Claire. Paul and Lou, 3 Christmas. Why have you got me going in 3 different places, Claire? You just need to be surrounded by friends. Have you got three devices? You've got one over there. It must be like you've got a lot of friends in the house. Is that what it is? Oh, that's very sad. She puts me on so that she opens her windows so that the neighbours can hear that she thinks she's got a lot of people in the house. Is that right, Claire? Oh, I'm being awful now. I don't know which one to close. It's totally thrown my morning's entertainment. Mark, when I go to a cash point, I always like to go to the inside of a bank, same as me, mate, or if not in a station, so closed circuit television can see every move. I don't think closed circuit television makes any difference, Mark. I don't. Some of these robbers, they're not bothered. I mean, there's cameras all over London. Still don't stop them stabbing someone, does it? It don't make me feel any safer having a camera propped up there. If someone sees you, right, you think about this. If someone sees you get whacked over the head while you're outside a bank machine, well, first of all, that person has got to ring the police, and then the police have got to get to you. What's that, 10 minutes? You'll be dead then. Dead. No, don't use those cash machines. If you can at all help it, always go into the bank. Certainly elderly people, like yourself, JP. I wouldn't like to know that JP has gone to a cash point. You must go into a bank, JP, especially at your age, dear. Get inside that bank and demand that they lock the door before you put those thousands of pounds in, dear. I know you're loaded, JP. Don't worry about that, my dear. You're all talking to each other there. Claire got carried away for a while, opening you up. Too many windows. It'd do good for the numbers, though, Claire, wouldn't it, eh? Do good for the numbers. I've watched another 3 episodes. I don't usually watch things, bulk watching stuff, whatever it's called. Is it bulk watching, binge watching? I watched another 3 episodes of Pose yesterday, which is highly recommended. I wouldn't watch it maybe with children. There's not really any physically sexual stuff going on there. But nevertheless, I don't think it's for a little person over 16s, or maybe even over 15s to watch that one, Pose, which is on the iPlayer. I didn't know. Maureen was telling me on Friday night that it's actually on BBC Two. It actually is shown on BBC Two, I think, on Sunday nights, although I think they're only up to episode 3. I'm up to episode 7 now, which it's a great show. It's funny and it's sad and everything in between. Okay, I've just got to the stage where one of the people one of the blokes on there has died on AIDS, and they're dealing with the whole HIV AIDS thing, and I think they do it very well, actually. It's very well. This program is set in the 1980s, where basically, if you got this virus, HIV virus, in those days, okay, you died. If you were told that, then that was it. That was it. Really awful. And there were thousands and thousands of people who died at that time. I was kind of married at that time for a very short period of time. I thought I was like a straight person, and I was married at that time, so I kind of missed that bit where everyone was dying left, right, and centre. Otherwise, it could quite easily have been me. Could quite easily have been me in those days. And I remember some of my older friends, Ray Reynolds would tell you this, that in those times they had a newspaper, like a gay newspaper called Capital Gay. It's not around anymore. And you would open that and there'd be like pages full of people who had died that week, literally. Terrible thing. But these days it's more like diabetes or something like that. And if you are given certain pills and things like that, and you take them on time, then it's, you should be okay. Well, you start mucking around with pills, you must do what the doctor tells you. You see, there's so many people with various different diseases and illnesses that are told by the doctor to take 3 of these pills each day at this time, and you'll be fine. And they say, well, I just have 1. No, that's not what the doctor told you. He told you 3, and they have 1, and they have 1, and then they suddenly drop down dead. I can't say, and they wonder why that happened, because they're dead. You know, you must, if you've got something like that, diabetes, I don't know what else to think of. Other bits and pieces, lung conditions, all sorts of things, and drugs. Certain drugs will help you along with this sort of thing, along with the HIV. You must take these drugs as and when the doctor says. Otherwise, you're dead. You know what you want to do. So many people they think they know better than the doctors. And it's like the even a minor thing like a throat infection with the antibiotics. You know, if you're given antibiotics by a doctor, you need them. They don't. They try not to hand them out willy-nilly. Don't go into a surgery and demand antibiotics. The doctor will know whether or not those antibiotics will help you. They don't give them out willy-nilly. However, if you've been given them, you must complete the course. It tells you you must have them all, eat them all, whatever you want to take them all. People don't do it. Oh, I feel a bit better now. No, I won't bother with those ones. And then it comes back again. And then this time the drugs don't work. They've got to move on to other ones. You must do what the doctor says. Very important. So, yes, the episodes of Pose were dealing with someone who had died of AIDS. And some of the scenes in there were done in like an AIDS ward. And it's just incredibly sad, and I was very fortunate to have missed all that, you know, because at the time I thought I was straight and I wasn't on that scene at the time. Hundreds and thousands of people, terrible, terrible. People still die of it in other countries where they don't have these drugs. You see, Africa and places like that, they just don't have these drugs. I know, good willing doctors that smuggle in HIV-related drugs to other countries to help people. Literally, they smuggle them in. Not so much smuggle them. You're allowed to bring them in, but they get them from various sources, shall we say, in order to help people in other countries because they just don't have them. You should imagine being told something like that. Yeah, you got that, and you're going to die. Awful, awful. So that's the episodes of Pose. Apart from that serious side of it, there's some comical value in there. There's relationships going on. And my favourite part of it is where they've got this nightclub. I don't know what the nightclub's called, but it's fantastic, this nightclub there. And I'd love to go to that nightclub. Absolutely love to go to that nightclub. Back to some of your messages there. Mike says, has the fish boy knocked on your door again? Sadly not. No. I was open. I got back to the swimming pool and my little bell went off. I've got a little alarm thing on the camera, and whenever something walks past, that usually 99 times out of 100, it's a cat. And I thought, oh, I wonder if there's... And I wait. I'll turn the sound off the telly. No one knocks on the door. How disappointing. The fish boy has not come back, or the fish man hasn't come back. No, very disappointing. John says, I'm like a cat cross between Kenneth Williams and Sid James, am I? Poor old Julian, he's on 16 pills a day following bowel cancer. Is that forever then, Julian, that one? Have you got to have 16 pills a day, like, forever? Or is it just clearing something up, following something up? Which is it? Okay, so I watched Pose. I watched Casualty last night. Duffy, who's like a wonderful nurse, has now told everyone she's in the early stages of dementia, which is just incredibly sad. That's when you start forgetting things and stuff like that, don't you? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have trouble with words sometimes or names of people. Last week, I told you last week, a regular to the karaoke, his name's Martin. Lovely, lovely chap, Martin. And last week, he came up and says, hello, Chris. And for some reason, his name was just not in my head. Funny, isn't it? Good morning to Abdirazak. Good morning, Abdirazak. Hope you're doing well with your family there, sir. Nice to see you pop up, your little name pop up there. And Julian says he does have to have all those pills now every day for the rest of his life. Okay. Well, you must keep taking them, dear. Make sure you do. Paul and Lou thinks I'm more like Charles Hawtrey and Bernard Bresslaw. I know Charles Hawtrey. Oh, he's funny, he was, wasn't he? He was lovely. Claire, can you lay in wait for the fish boy next Sunday? He should be back with his van again. Oh, my word, Mark's 5 weeks behind on Casualty. Well, I've just told you then, Mark, haven't I? Let me tell you, on this week's programme, Connie has found the person who attacked her. Yes, it's all happening on Casualty there. And what's his name? Fletch from Holby City makes a guest appearance this week. So we love Holby. Yeah, I don't know where you go with dementia. The early stages are forgetting things. Now, I forget little names and things like that. If I went to the doctor and said, oh, I keep forgetting names and things like that. A couple of names. Sometimes, it hasn't happened today. Notice that. I haven't struggled for a word today. Sometimes I can be in conversation, suddenly I want a word, and it won't come to me. Now, so what's the difference between if I went to a doctor and told him that? How would I know? How would he know whether or not I was in early stages dementia? I wonder what if that sort of a test is there. Is it like you go in an X-ray machine or some sort of test with a pen and paper? I don't know how that works. Maybe you know how that works. Do tell me. John says you have trouble with words, love. I've had trouble with words for years, though, John. You know. Oh no, I'm just down to one stream now in Claire's house. Oh, you'll affect my numbers, Claire. Can you reload me up in many places, please? Claire says I should buy some seaweed from the fish man. Oh dear. That's it. Okay. Righty-ho, that's our little chat for today. I did have a couple of news stories here. I'll just do, let's have a look. Well, I'll just do one story here. This is in a Daily Mirror this morning, actually. Creepy crawlies hiding in your food. Oh, yes. It says here, a biomedic scientist student used a microscope to discover what lies on the surface of our fresh food. Forget bed bugs. This 28-year-old biomedicine student, Martin, decided to discover creepy crawlies could be lurking in the meals we eat as well. Using a powerful microscope at Denmark's university, Martin discovered a whole world of organisms hiding in fresh vegetables he bought from a regular grocery store. From carrots and parsnips to celery and leeks, his microscope showed nothing was safe from insect infestation with mites, aphids, roundworms, midges and larvae lurking in the vegetables. Martin said, using the microscope, I could magnify things more than 1,000 times. The celery and leeks were by far the best place to find bugs. In the samples I took, I found many dead insects, mites and aphids. Some of the dead insects were even covered in mould. This is the stuff they found on fresh food, dear. Of the living bugs I found, there was a selection of mites, midge, larvae, tardigrades, I don't know what they are, and an unidentified larva, and of course a lot of bacteria. I made sure to find at least 2 of every organism present so I could say with some confidence that it just wasn't a one-time coincidence. For those of you put off from eating veg or ever again fear of what insects you might be chomping on, Martin did offer up some preparation techniques. There's a picture of him here. Washing the vegetables, he says, helps a lot. How many of you don't do that? Especially, I mean, if it's like frozen veg, you kind of assume that it's already washed. It must be, mustn't it? Do you wash a carrot before? If it looks clean, certainly the ones in Waitrose, they look like they've been through a tumble, you know, like a washing machine, don't they? They're so clean, the veg and fruit in Waitrose. Would you still wash that? It says, washing the vegetables helps a lot. If you cook the vegetables, the living insects should die. And if not, your stomach acid will most likely kill them anyway. But in the end, it's all just extra protein. I don't like the sound of that, do you? Oh, no. I don't think I don't think I ever want to eat anything ever again. Oh, dear. JP says, brain scan, Chris. My mum had a brain scan. She had dementia for 15 years. I'm sorry to hear that, John. So it's a brain scan that they do with that one. All right. Claire reckons, never again. One stream of me is enough. Oh, I'm very disappointed to hear that, Claire. Very disappointed. I thought I could have on several of your gadgets at the same time. And Julian says, perhaps providing you clean and cook your veg properly, no problem. They say the same with meat, don't they? Worms and things, tapeworms in pork chops and things like that, isn't they? Awful. All right, gang, let's do today's birthdays. Happy birthday on this Monday, the 15th of April, 2019 to Bobby Houston. Good morning, Silver Summers. Robert Houston, happy birthday to you, you delightful person. I haven't seen you for ages. Happy birthday. Katie Perleyberg is 26 years old today. Happy birthday to you. Carl Carl McAlear, I think I've said that right, is 44 today. Michael Verona is 47 years old today. Alexander McGregor, good morning to you and happy birthday. Toto Trito, happy birthday to you. And David Robbins, who's a DJ, 31 years old. I thought he was older than that. David Robbins today is 31 years old today. So happy birthday, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. It's Monday night tonight, so I'll be hosting karaoke this evening. Do come and join us. Boys and girls, it'd be nice to come and hear you sing a song at Central Station Bar. Monday karaoke tonight at Central Station Bar each and every Monday from 7:30 until 11 o'clock. Free entry and cheap drinks as well. Come along, gang. Monday karaoke tonight, Central Station Bar, 37 Wharfdale Road in King's Cross from 7:30. Time to go. Have a lovely day. Thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.